Salted already.
Yeah, he's coming down
And
now.
and there's no more.
Well, that's, and I think that's part of the goal of the retail. But what we could do is, at the time, look at
Yeah, take a
what
look
they
at
are.
it.
Okay. You're ready, Al.
Hold on. Okay, going to call to order the meeting, West Warwick Pension Board, August 19, 2019, at 19:09 hours. First order is prayer. Dear Lord, provide this board with guidance in making its decisions tonight and in the future. Look over our military people abroad and overseas and here. And overlook our past deceased members of the town of West Warwick. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
United States of
Flag
America,
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
you were a little quick on the tempo there, through.
Roll call.
Albert Hero.
Here.
David Lemoy.
Here.
Helena Tay.
Here.
Ralph Salmonese.
Here.
Michelle Lombardi.
Here.
We have forum, review and approval of prior minutes meetings. I don't think we have anything for the 8th, correct?
Well, I still put no quorum
Right,
on
right, no quorum,
thing,
right.
Just
but
the-
the other one needs to still be approved.
Would approve the
Previous month.
minutes from executive
Should be approved
session.
as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, executive session minutes from Monday, August 19th, 2019, and approve any votes taken.
Second motion.
To close and seal.
We gotta
Close and
that
seal.
seal.
Sorry, not approve. Motion to close and seal the minutes from the executive session meeting Monday, August 19th, 2019.
Yeah,
Motion made,
seconded.
seconded. Close the minutes of executive session, August 19, 2019. And any votes? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Reaffirm the vote taken. Motion to reaffirm that we have legal counsel discuss with Attorney Weens a matter relating to COLA benefits in regards to survivors of disabled members.
Is that a motion or just a?
It's a motion.
Motion made,
Second.
motion made and seconded. Have attorney just contact, what was the name again?
Attorney Weens.
Attorney Marines, regards to COLAs for survivor benefits. Do we need
Disabled.
disabled, is that for just a vote or
That was to reaffirm the vote.
reaffirm the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion for item,
I think you should be corrected on that. Our attorney did not call about all disability. She didn't have a conversation with her about all disability guys. She had a conversation with her strictly about Diane Kelsey.
we can keep it at a very vague. We don't want to discuss personal matters. We're on item E, correct? Motion to approve minutes from June 10th and July 8th.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve minutes from July 8th and June 10th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, review of Rockland and Clearbrook monthly expenses and portfolio.
might be a little dark again, so it
Again?
might be okay.
Yep.
I know it's hard, it's the way
Yeah, I
it's
know.
over. Your best. That's the bill that came over for the quarter, that first one. It's taken out of the bank account. That first one you have in your hand is the quarterly bill, if you wanna read it.
Well, this is,
It's not
Okay,
one to
expenses,
approve,
okay,
they
all right.
automatically take it.
I see what you're saying, all right. July 16th, 2019, quarterly, for the quarter ending September 30th, 2019, based on the June 30th, 2019 market value of $40,717,947.68. Their bill is $30,538.48. It's Clearbrook. Their performance report. Well, this is a little bit better this month. Let's see. Market value of the plan is $258,884.
That was as of July 31st, right?
That is
July
July 31st, 2019, correct, ending. For those of you interested, the total alternatives are $7,171,212. And total cash, $6,137,376. Do you need a motion for this bill? Well, that's automatically taken, correct?
No, it's just that's for information.
Just taken,
That's
okay.
automatic.
That's all right, okay. Rockland in here?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you have it?
I'm looking.
I got it here, Al, if you want it.
If not, I was gonna say, it's fine.
I got June and July.
I put them both in there.
We keep one?
I got two clear books, no Rockland.
That should be June and this one's July.
Unless it's after that.
It is after that, but that's what it is. They
Okay,
found
all
them.
right. Rockland, July 1st, 2019 to July 31st, 2019. Being market value, $36,225,253.61. Change in market value for this period is on a plus of $198,880.68. Ending market value is $35,749,871.56. From the first of the year to July 31st, beginning market value was $29,675,200.76. Ending market value of July 31st, 2019 was $35,749,871.56. And it's showing a gain of $288,252.13. All right. Okay, item G, payment of bills. First one, Olin and Penza, file number MBF 7372, May of 2019, $3,145. And then that's for May. June of 2019, $3,108. MBF 737225, plan redraft, May of 2019, $555, for a total of $6,808.
Can I ask a question?
Motion to approve G1.
Question.
I want to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
This plan's been going on for 5 years. When we're gonna stop paying on it? You keep bleeding our pension fund. All she's doing is bleeding the town. 5 years for a new pension plan. Something's wrong. You people are gonna be idiots, keep paying her every month. Every time I come to a meeting, it's $6,800 for her. It's ridiculous. Why is the plan taking so long?
We can, if we can
Anybody
refrain
answer that?
from yelling from the crowd, we have public comment for a reason. Bring it up,
I'm asking a question before you approve it.
you
5
can
years.
bring it up at public comment, please.
5 years.
Not gonna stand there and call me an idiot and not have me say something.
You've been on the board long enough there.
So am I the biggest idiot up here?
No, you're not.
Okay.
I can say you were.
All right, well, we put a lot of time and effort into this. And I'm not gonna sit here and listen to me being called an idiot all night, all right? So please bring it up at public comment.
You, of all people, should be watching out for our pension. Because you're gonna be getting one, hopefully, if there's
Yeah.
money in there.
All right. Public comment, please. Motion to approve G1.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve item G1. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, G2, Orthopedics, Rhode Island, for Peter Blaze, in the amount of $1,000.
Motion to approve G2.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve item G2, for the amount of $1,000. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item G3, Nyhawk Corporation, Actuary and Administrative Services, May of 2019, $820. This one here is going to be paid for by the board. This was actually, this is from 2018 originally, wasn't it?
No, that's not it. This
Okay.
is the one I explained to you about, that
Right.
they had questions about
Yeah.
the ones, for number 2. Remember, we had to review with them?
Right.
So they charged us, I have an email in there confirming it was us, because I didn't understand what it was.
This should be the board.
It is the
Yeah,
board.
board, okay.
There's an email confirming what it is.
Okay.
I wasn't sure at first when I
Right.
did the agenda, but the
Yep.
email came
Okay.
in.
Item 2 is service July 2019, Leahy and Petrarca benefit calculations and the Rose return contributions for $1,087.50. Item 3, services June of 2019, COLA medical figures. And its amount is $2,630. Item 4, services June 2019, evaluation prep, $10,020. Item 5, August 2018, police recalculations for pay increases. That amount is $3,170. And per last 2 or 3 council meetings I've been at, the town has agreed to pay half of that. So tonight, we're gonna pay half of that and
1585.
Thank you.
15, what?
85?
That'll adjust the
1585.
total number.
I'm
And-
doing that right
Right.
now. so
And then they,
that's
we're
the
sending
last minute decision.
the bill to town telling them we're paid half and they're gonna pay the other half. Item 6, September 2018, increase for police, interest for police increased retros. That amount is $320. That was from September of 2018. For a total of $18,047.50.
So Do you know what this valuation prep is? I don't
Valuation
remember
prep.
that ever coming up, so.
I'm assuming it's for their annual revaluation report. It's in their bills.
Yeah, that's what it's for, the evaluation prep, and then for the report.
And for their annual report?
Right. 20 hours of actuarial analyst, 12.5 hours of actuary, 6.5 of consultant. We have that new total?
Oh, yeah, 16,
16, hold on. 50 cents, is that right?
yeah, 50 cents still.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to amend item G3A, the total amount to $16,462.50.
3 what?
Item G3A,
You have to read
G
these.
Then-
3A.
the Nyhart total from $1847.50 to $16,462.50. And to reflect the town's payment of half of item 5.
All right. The first, can you say part of that? first part?
Motion to amend item G3A, the total amount to $16,462.50.
All right, G3A. How much?
Reduce it to $16,462.50 to reflect item 5, having the town pay half.
Okay. Any other questions? Comments? Okay, motions are made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve the amended amount of $16,462.50.
Motion made.
Second.
Motion made and seconded with the amended amount of $16,462.50. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item H, applications for return of contributions. First one is Michelle Rose,
King.
the amount of $28,915.83. We'll do these one at a time.
Motion to approve H1, Michelle Rosa.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve H1, Michelle Rosa. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. H2, Jean Maderas wastewater treatment plant, the amount of $15,961.70.
Motion to approve H2, G. Maderas.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve item H2 for the amount of $15,961.70. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. H3, Diane DePola School, the amount of $19,365.75.
Motion to approve H3, Diane DePaula.
Second.
Motion made
19,000.
and seconded to approve item H3, the amount of $19,365.75. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item H4, Ryan Bisquette. Amount is pending, unless you have that.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I have $10,139.61.
The amount of $10,139.61.
Motion to approve H4, Ryan Busquet.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve item H4 in the amount of $10,139.61. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item I, discussion action, applications to be approved. First one is Michael Cox for the police. The
Yeah,
amount,
I do.
you have this amount, correct, that you're sending to him for approval?
sorry?
Michael Cox.
Clark.
Yeah, can we just table,
Motion to
Michael
table
Clark,
item
you'd like-
I-1, Michael Clark.
You just want to table?
he would like to look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
it before
okay,
we
I
even.
understand. Yeah.
So he asked me if we could do that, because I got these all in at the last minute.
Do we need to, we just table it, or
Yeah.
we need a vote?
Motion to table item I-1.
Second the motion.
Motion made and second to table item I-1. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item I-2, David Carlton. The
Charlton.
amount, what's that? The amount of $1,737.76.
Motion to approve I-2, David Charlton.
Second.
Motion seconded, made and seconded to approve item H2,
Aye.
the amount of $1,737.76. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Same thing with
Item 3, Philip Kelly.
That's
No,
we have-
he asked
Same
to be
thing as
tabled.
one.
Motion to table I-3, Philip Kelly.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to table item 3, I-3. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah.
Item I-4, Mark Levesque.
I have an amount, Mr. Chairman, of $2,645.99. Did he sign off?
Yes, he did.
What was the cents again, please?
It's 99 cents.
99 cents. He's approved that?
Yeah, he did, and Chilton, that's why I didn't say anything. They
Okay.
both approved it.
All right.
Motion to approve item I-4, Mark Levesque, in the amount of $2,645.99, and thank him for his service.
Second that motion.
Motion made and seconded to approve item I-4. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item J, discussion on application to receive James Rathburn, Department of Public Works, July 31st, 2019.
Application's complete for you?
Yes.
All right. Motion to receive item J1, James Rathburn.
Second that
Second.
motion.
Motion made and seconded to approve the received application of Jane Rathburn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item K, discussion and action for benefits. One is Joanne Goldman. Date of death is 4/21/2019. One-time death benefit to beneficiary in the amount of $2,000.
Tracy, you have a
Motion to
beneficiary on
approve
here?
K1.
I do.
Yeah.
It was her daughter,
Second.
Christina.
Motion made and seconded to approve item K1. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item L, discussion action regarding calculations of COLA benefits for non-union employees.
We're waiting to hear back. Still, we're waiting to hear back. The manager on that one's still correct.
That's the town manager.
Motion to table item L.
Yeah, second.
Motion made and seconded to table item L. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item M, discussion reaction regarding Clearbrook's next meeting. That was the email we saw earlier.
Yeah, when would you like them to come? They've been asking.
They haven't been in a while. Can they come next month?
I can, all right.
September?
September would be good?
So we'll do September?
Yeah.
Okay. Item N, discussion and action regarding calculations of COLA benefits for retirees and medical co-pays. All right, that's the one with Nyhawk. We've resolved that, correct? There was just a question on the amount, wasn't it, percentage?
Yeah, you signed off
Signed-
on the
signed off
paperwork,
on that,
so there
yep.
is a fee for it.
There's a fee.
And then there was an additional fee as the medical
That was
co-pays.
500 and,
So I think it was 2,500 in total.
okay.
They're all set, they have the information they need.
Not totally on the medical co-pays, that was what we talked about earlier, with the 4%, we're gonna try to send them an email.
Yeah, because they had question 4% of what the
Yeah.
actual was before beginning of,
So
correct,
we'll just answer that, and then they should be all set.
okay.
This one.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, sorry.
Diane Kelsey, 143 Burlingame. I thought this would be appropriate place when we're talking about COLAs to ask the question, why didn't I receive my COLA when everyone else in our group did?
Ms. Kelsey, I understand that you're represented by an attorney, and I'm not comfortable speaking to you through your attorney. I will be speaking to you
Why is
tomorrow.
that?
Because I can't.
Oh, let me interrupt you just for a moment, because I was at the last 2 town council meetings. So was the chairman. And at that point, our town solicitor confirmed, based on a question and based on a comment that was made by Councilwoman Williamson, our solicitor for the town council confirmed that the 2% COLA involving me specifically was not in litigation, there was no question, and it was up to this pension board. There was no prohibiting on the part of the town council. It was up to you whether I would receive that. You make a decision.
Ms.
I
Kelsey,
wanted to come to a vote.
I'm not comfortable speaking to you without your attorney.
Why?
Because you're represented by an attorney.
Not on this issue. It has nothing
Ms.
to do with
Kelsey,
this
I received
issue.
an email from your attorney on this issue, so I will contact your attorney tomorrow, and I'm sure she will be in touch with you.
These people can't make a decision.
You can't make a decision about anything. None of you. You look to her, you don't make a decision at all.
Why are you even a board?
I mean, I don't understand why I'm constantly, as a widow of a disabled firefighter who died of lung cancer, why am I constantly being harassed and discriminated against by this board? Why? It's going on almost 4 years now. I don't understand it.
No, I would ask that we not address Ms. Kelsey. You're represented by an attorney, and I will contact your attorney.
But not on this issue.
Kelsey, you are.
Oh, my God. You know, I'm sitting here every meeting, for the most part when I can make it, and I see all the thousands of dollars that you're giving out and approving. No disrespect intended, Kristen, but every month you're paying her upwards of $3,000 or more. Her and her law firm is making like, and this is conservative, it took me about 3 minutes to make this statement, but about $35,000 a year to her and her law firm. You have a redraft that you stated 3 years ago would cost about $20,000. It's upwards of $60,000. You have 4 individuals that are being paid by this board, getting benefits that you are denying me. And I did a rough calculation. Already, in the last 5 years, you've paid them over $30,000 when they should have taken a 20% pay cut because they didn't sign on to this MOU. They didn't go to court. And that's not even considering the medical that they're supposed to have chipped in with as well. So I'm being discriminated against as a widow. This is how the town of West Warwick treats their widows. Everybody needs to understand that. My husband used to say to me, I should have died, it would have been easier when we were going through all these headaches. How dare you?
Nobody cares, Steve. They don't care, don't have a clue.
Good job, Dee Dee.
Very good.
Morons.
Good job.
Excellent job.
Could I just add one thing to that? You can discuss it. What's that paper? I'm going to read something from your redraft, not mine. I didn't redraft this pension, you did. page 35, and she's not representing me, Elizabeth Wines, okay? She's representing Mrs. Kelsey. Schedule D, termination date, fire police, March 87, March 88, 2014. Cost of living. No cost of living shall be paid prior to July 1st, 2019. Commencing on July 1st, 2019, each July after till June 30th, 2024, each former employee who retired with an occupational disability and whose termination date occurred during this period, or their survivor. Now, I believe Mrs. Kelsey qualifies under that. Do you agree?
What are you reading from?
Your revised pension plan, your redraft.
When was that issued and when was that approved by the council?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's my next thing.
Realize
Exactly.
that we've,
I realize-
it hasn't been, what you're reading from is not passed as an ordinance.
Why did you put it in there? You paid her to put it in there. Why'd she put it in there? Ask her. Did you ask her? You won't ask her.
I'm saying you're reading something that hasn't been approved by the council, that's all I'm saying. When you guys complain about a redraft that isn't come to fruition yet, we can't approve a redraft. You realize we don't have that authority,
I understand that.
okay?
But-
That's all I'm saying at this point.
How did it get in the redraft? Who put it in there? Who put this in the redraft?
That's all I'm saying at this point.
Who put this in the redraft? Did you, Al?
What date is that?
This is 2017, when the redraft was done.
Well, it's not done.
When it was written up, when you guys said you would give us a copy, and then you're gonna have this big meeting at the high school, and we're all gonna go over it to do our concerns about why have the town council accept this if we have concerns about it. So you gave us copies of it, and we went through it. And this is what was in it. This was, I didn't put it in there. Did you put it in there? Did you help her rewrite the redraft?
The redraft started before I came on this board.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly what date that was put in there. There's many people that worked on that. So
David,
I
did
have
you help
no
her do
idea
it?
when that was put in.
I'm not
You were
answering-
here.
I'm not answering your question.
Of course you're not.
Of course not.
Of course you're not. That's what this pension board does. Town council doesn't answer questions, you guys don't answer questions. Well, you know something? You're gonna have to answer. And I got another question coming up for you shortly. And you're gonna have to start an investigation very shortly. And do you wanna talk about it now, or do you wanna talk about it later under public
Public
comment?
comment, please.
Okay. Beware, because you're gonna be sued civilly this time. And you're all gonna have to get your own attorney. That's what I learned.
Okay, item O. Regarding the Quattros, there's only two that were involved in at the time. One has had no answer back from the lawyer
Nice.
representing one of the parties. They've been explaining the issues, and they've taken no action on it.
Please, order, please.
So that one we're gonna leave until they decide if they wanna take action on it based on what we've told them. The other one, it's basically just, it was a simple question asked by the ex-spouse, and Tracy is just gonna answer her question, so she had, there's nothing fancy about it. And that's it for those two Quattros.
So table to the unknown, we'll make a motion.
Motion to table item O.
Second.
Do we need to table that?
Well, to the, we need to put it back on, but I don't need to put it on next month. Only if
You can
something
just table
comes
it
up.
if you want to put the information that you provide
Oh.
to them, just so the board has it. if you wanna. Or you were gonna
I'm
call,
only gonna
actually,
call
so
'cause
then,
she
yeah.
only left her
So
phone
you don't-
number, so we don't even have to worry about it.
Okay, all right, so we'll leave it alone, all right. Item P, discussion action on the APRA request. No, why don't you answer that one,
Sure.
Mr. Block?
The town of West Warwick received,
Talk to the microphone, please.
sure.
Why we paid for it.
The town of West Warwick received an Access to Public Records Act request from Mr. Block that was responded to by the town clerk, and she asked for assistance from the pension board regarding the pension plan documents and the information on retirees that was requested. And I worked with the pension board clerk and the town clerk, to provide that information to them so that it could be provided to Mr. Black. And my understanding is that that request was responded to by the town clerk.
Any other discussion? Okay. Next one, Q, discussion action for meeting the date for the redraft. We have maybe, 2 days left to finish that up. It should be done.
Yeah, 2 hours,
Please,
4 years ago.
2 days ain't gonna cover it. Go ahead, Al.
I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say this. This started long before I was here. Never mind.
you know, if we're not gonna have an orderly meeting, we might as well just cancel it, honestly. It's getting ridiculous. You're there to sit quietly, okay? We have to have a meeting. We have to have, you're there to sit.
My pension.
You need to
They're
have
not
it,
screwing
yeah,
me.
and you need to sit in an orderly fashion
tell
while we
me
have,
what to do
yes, I
now.
can. You need to sit there and let's have an orderly meeting, sir. That's what you need to do right now.
Calvin, do you want me to circulate some dates?
Yeah, can you do that like we did last time?
I'll just send an email this week. A Monday's good? I can see if the,
I usually have, the
Okay.
fourth Monday of the month, I'm not available, but the other Mondays I am.
Okay.
And Thursdays,
Second,
the first Thursday I'm
Second
not available,
Monday.
but the other Thursdays I am.
okay. Maybe I'll do Mondays and Wednesdays, other than the 4th. I'll send some dates.
hmm?
Do you wanna try to do this in one, maybe 4-hour thing, or do you wanna do it in 2?
If you think we could get it all done in 4 hours,
4 hours.
That would be a good
from
idea.
5 to
You know how
9.
much is left? I don't.
I mean, like from 5 to 9, or
I think that would be a very long meeting.
What's that?
If you try to do 4 hours, it'll be a very long meeting. It'll,
All right,
That'd
so
be
we're
tough.
doing 2 meetings then.
5 to 7.
All right, let's do
5 to
that.
7.
two,
Okay. She's gonna send us some dates out in email, and then we'll figure it out from
I'll
there.
do it in the next 2 weeks.
We're not gonna pick a date
No,
today, no.
she's gonna send some dates out, so that you can
Then we should,
say what you're available.
then we respond.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, item R, discussion on apprentices. I went to council meeting, voiced my opinion about, the system, using the pension money to pay for it. I told him I didn't think it was right, explained why. Mr. Goslin explained, he was on the board,
Monday.
he was a councilman at the time, wasn't president when this system was talked about, drafted an agreement and put in place. He said at the time, we were not being billed separately, the town was paying for it. He has no idea when it got started doing the separate places paying for it, but he said it shouldn't be that way. He's got I think he had the clerk and the town manager looking into that and so forth. We have not paid the last bill, and we just got another bill, correct, Tracy?
Yes,
And we're not gonna pay that one and forward that to,
I'm gonna forward that you guys had said in the
We're not
last
paying.
month.
You see what that amount is? That the monthly bill is?
Oh, it's in the packet,
I couldn't find it.
it's near the back. I just see mine out of order.
Oh, yeah, I got it here. 4,287. I don't know if that's our share.
No,
Wow.
ours would be for pension.
600.
this percentage is,
$653.67. I believe that's quarterly.
It is.
yeah,
$653.67.
per quarter, no, for quarter.
Water.
And they bill in advance.
So we're gonna get that,
We're not paying.
I don't know about getting back what we paid before, I don't even know how long it's before that we've been paying it.
The last
I
two
just
quarters we haven't
questioned
paid.
it, got a copy of the contract, because we didn't have any. We had no say into it, we've had no say since. Trace and I researched it out, there's been 5 times, it was 4 at the time, there's 1 more since, where the system did not work, and we still had to pay for it. And we're asked, what, do we get credit for it, how that works? Basically, there's nothing on that, but still, I said we should be paying for it. It's a good system as far as somebody who can't make the meeting or lives out of state and they want to follow on it, that's great, it's perfect for that. And all the other departments. I just don't, we didn't have any say in it, and I don't think we should be paying for it. Come to find out, we weren't supposed to, nobody else was supposed to, and so that's gonna be straightened out. So in the meantime, we're just not paying those bills and forwarding it to them and telling them we're not paying it. Any other discussion? Okay, item S,
Okay.
discussion and action for RFQ for actuary. I asked Tracy to give me a template
Al,
of what was,
sorry, on item R, you just have to vote to have Tracy respond to that email.
okay.
Motion to have the clerk respond to the email on Granicus, item R.
Second,
Motion made, seconded to have Tracy, the clerk, respond to email regarding Granicus to, who is it, Tom?
That we're no longer gonna pay the bill.
Yeah, who's that going to?
Finance.
It was actually the deputy finance.
Deputy
secretary,
finance.
So I'll send it to finance.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item S, discussion action for RFQ for actuary. I had asked Tracy, see what the last one was, what that was, I get a copy of it. In various meetings with different town officials and the actuary, and correspondence on different issues and so forth that's been coming up. I started questioning why we pay an amount for them and then I have to start signing all these individual contracts for a service to be provided, this is how much it's gonna cost, and I have to sign before they'll do it. So I wondered what we pay for, what that covers, and then why all these extra charges. I've set, I don't know, one night we spent 4 or 5 hours going through stuff for NIHOT, trying to figure out what they're looking for and the problems and that, and it seems like we do a lot of the legwork and then stuff that they can do, because we've given them all the collective bargain agreements, all the information they should have. They should be able to read it and answer their questions as they do in calculations or whatever it is that they're attempting to do. And it doesn't seem to be that easy. We had a meeting with the town manager, and he expressed a lot of concern about the actuary. So I'd like to put out an RFQ for that. We've discussed it as a board, and we're gonna put that into work so that, go out to bid and see what we get.
I just want to make a point here. We just paid him $10,000 for this valuation preparation. By my calculations, we're paying that this was $255 an hour is what we paid for this. That's $500,000 a year
Should keep it that.
for this kind of work, which seems high when, I mean, I realize that that also pays salary and benefits and overhead,
What-
but
you
500,000
We
still
can pay
seems
the
like a lot.
actuary $500,000 a year.
I'm telling you, $255 an hour works out to $500,000 a year,
Where are you getting the hours?
right here. They gave me.
That,
this was
that's the actuary
40 hours.
report, though. They don't do that like every month. That's an annual report.
I know, but you're paying them at that rate, to do this,
Right.
you know?
But there's only a certain amount of hours that's required for the report. The report is the bulk of their work.
Yeah.
But it
Sure,
doesn't,
yeah.
it doesn't result in $500,000. I don't know what the amount is. I know it's not that.
It appears they have a set amount for what they do. Anything that they do after that is by the hour.
Mhm.
So that's where we gotta figure out, is
Are we
there a
being
better way to do it,
overcharged
and
for-
is there gonna be,
The last time we,
Or-
I mean,
the last time we went out for,
did you look at the contract, though? I mean, are we
Yeah,
actually
we've-
being overcharged for this?
I haven't seen a contract, I saw the
Oh,
my other
well,
thing, I
they
got
were-
the
We need
template
the
for
contract.
the
the last
last,
time we went out for a bid on actuaries was probably 2 years ago. They were in line. There was maybe one bid that was cheaper than Nyhart, but the discussion that we had prior to your arrival in the
Mhm.
executive meeting was that it may be beneficial to just have a flat rate, like take care of all of our benefit calculations, take care of all the healthcare questions that you're gonna have in relation to the 4% like we talked about tonight. Because it just keeps turning into, it seems like them creating more work for themselves, and then there's more and more of these bills that come in. So the bids we got last time, we'll have to look at them again, but I want to say it was, here's so much per hour, and here's what we estimate some of the costs to be. Maybe we can do, not necessarily with Nyhart, but whatever we end up going with is, how much would it be to just take care of all of the actuarial services and just have, we know it year to year?
Is that the same group that we pay to fly here to give a report, that we have to pay for, put them up overnight, then fly them back to wherever they come from?
The last time they were here, we had a meeting with the town manager. I don't remember paying them for that. They stayed here. I don't think we paid them for that.
By their contract, well,
Have we paid for them in the past?
they're gonna stay overnight, I think,
We do pay travel.
yeah.
Okay.
Can I
So it's
ask you a
another-
question? Do you have a contract with an actuary? Do you actually sign a contract?
I haven't, but I'm assuming we have one.
Yes, yeah.
Dave, I know you've been here for a few years.
Right, yeah, we do.
You actually sign that contract. Does it state exactly in that contract what their services cover? Because it
Yes.
seems as though you're getting bills for every little thing
Review-
separately.
I don't wanna cut you off.
The chairman has to sign, which doesn't make any sense.
I have, is this the entire contract, the most recent?
No, that's just the
What, the
one
one he just
to
signed?
do the COLAs and the Medical.
Yeah.
When is
So
their
this is
contract
new
up?
because they didn't have.
They're not will, as far as I'm aware. We usually just do like a 1-year type of
It's just
deal, but
in there.
even in the language, we say in the 1 year that they're at will, and we can, for whatever reason, remove them and go with a new one,
It just seems as though we're constantly being billed. I mean,
especially lately.
just
It's,
look like it looked tonight, almost
I know,
Yeah.
$16,000
It's a lot.
right,
in one shot.
like I said,
mean, that's pension money. This is ridiculous.
Right.
I mean, they constantly bill you for, if Tracy were to call and we needed figures, they're supposed to include at least one per person, correct me if I'm wrong, per annually, to an individual, but it seems as though we're getting billed constantly from this company, and the money's coming out of our pensions.
right.
But, yeah, and
Why?
the other thing was, we were getting bills with no explanation, so at a meeting we had with them and the town manager's office with the town manager, it was brought up, several bills. They researched it out. We were being billed for people that were asking things of them that wasn't us. So we got that figured out where it was. It took some time. Then those bills got sent to the proper departments that asked for them, and they paid for it.
Did they reimburse the pension committee?
We
for
didn't
it?
pay for it because we questioned it. So
the
that's
bill
what the
got sent
meeting
to
was.
those departments,
Those departments, the bills were redirected to them, and they paid it.
and they paid?
One was ours, the rest of them weren't. The other thing that we had brought up at that meeting was, you get a bill, but what is it you do, you know, what's, how many hours, and all of that. So that was discussed, and they're gonna start putting down on the bills who asked for the information, what the information's for, you know, what it's involved, and then how much time was spent on it, right? Because you had no way of knowing. We were basically at will with them.
But we
and
signed a
then-
contract with them.
Well, that's the, yeah, and then what I've been going over a lot of stuff with Tracy, spent a lot of time, different nights and stuff, is they have a question. So what do we do for this individual regarding this? We look at this, we looked at that, because we give them all the information they need, all the stuff that's in here, and, well, they interpret it might be this way, or it could be this, so you tell us what you wanna do. They can't figure it out sometimes, you know, or what should they get?
Whatever it is, whatever answer we give them, then they come back and say, oh, that recalculation of that issue is right here, here's the bill for it. It just
So
seems like
then-
that's what it's turning into.
Well, we gotta spend more time, so now it's getting to the point where they won't do anything until they bring up this contract and specify what they're gonna do, how much hours, how much it's gonna be. Sometimes they estimate what it's gonna be, but they don't think it'll be any more, but there's no guarantee. But they won't do anything until I sign on.
How
Tracy?
often have they asked you questions in interpretation of an item?
A
In the
lot.
last,
Almost
like,
every
3
month.
months?
A
Yeah,
lot.
almost every month.
Seems like more
It's getting
recent.
more and more,
More and
and the
more.
billings are getting there to where now I have to sign for every little thing they wanna do, and there's a charge for it. So that's why I started looking into this, and just gonna go out for bids, because I just think we're getting, something's not right here. Other people have questioned them, rolled my eyes to it, I have a little questions about a few things, but as I dig more into it, I'm just gonna go out and get bids and see where we go with it.
Al, do you remember, I know you remember, David Wall, that he wasn't, I don't think he was even born yet. Back in the 70s, when we we used to get a yearly statement.
That was what, Milliman, I think it was? No, was it Milliman?
Milliman did
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Every
he's-
year, we used to get that.
Right.
We
I
did
remember
it.
that.
We did it.
Go back to that.
They had a different agreement. We actually talked about that in one of our sessions.
Well, we did it, and,
There was a package deal, and they did everything for that one
That's
price.
right.
right, that's
And
kind
you
of what we're
got a
looking at.
statement
And
every year.
every employee got a statement at the end of the year.
That's right.
What your pension's gonna be, when you can retire.
We did it
how
last
much
year.
it's gonna be.
So exactly what you're saying, we did it with Nyhart. It was either last year or the year before, and what they came up with was, I don't know, unsatisfactory at best. It really, some of the things they had on there were incorrect, and then they billed us for it. So it just seemed like, and it was just useless. I looked at it, I said, yeah, I can just look at my contract and figure out when I'm gonna retire. I don't need Nyhart to tell me that,
And pay for it.
you know? So we haven't done it since then, because I don't wanna say it was around 4,000, I don't know, I don't wanna speak out of school, but it was a decent amount, and nobody had any use for it. Everybody that got it was like, the only thing that it really told you was how much you put into the pension plan, which scares me anyway, it makes me sick, but even if I wanted that information, I could go to payroll and ask, how much have I put in my career? I don't need Nyhart to do it. It wasn't very useful. We haven't done it since, I don't think.
I mean, you could sit, figure yourself and get a ballpark figure and be really close too.
Yeah, but again, back to what he said, if we go to a package deal where we can list the services that we want to provide, the amount that we want to pay for it, I think we can avoid a lot of
We
this
either go with
month-to-month
One
nonsense.
price to cover everything, or one price to cover what has to be done, and then, an amount per hour or something for any other services that come up that have to be done. Get a price either way and figure out which is the best. But we need to get bids out there to see what's out there, because I myself am not happy with this. It's getting worse. I
Yeah,
just
it's
think we
definitely
can do
getting
better.
worse. We've had Nyhart since I've been here, and I've never, I mean, they were amazing, but, I mean, they did their job, and it didn't seem like they were really screwing us, but now it seems like the more we question their bills, the more they're sending bills our way that I've never seen before.
Do they charge you? Can anybody from the board call them, or?
Oh, Tracy and I talked to them tonight
No, I
before.
mean, yeah, can anybody on the board call, and you probably get charged for that?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
I-
Did anybody call, or just you and Tracy, or?
I don't know if they charge for calls.
She
If
does.
it's a- I don't think so, but if it's involving the question, they got an hour, they got a problem with something, they,
Yeah, put on silence.
um,
Can't do that.
they have, I hate that too, but,
Silence.
they,
You're getting paid an hourly rate, so whether making a phone call.
they have a
or
question about
calculation-
something, they're gonna bill you for it. Whether the phone call,
I
either
know,
us
what
or
I'm
in it, I don't
asking
know.
Is only you and Tracy allowed to call them if you have a question?
I don't know.
Or can anybody on that board? Because they could be calling from their houses, we don't know, and
Oh,
asking questions, that's what
yeah.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never called them. I've answered emails with Tracy, or she's forwarded it to me, and I've looked at them and answered them. We did, for instance, Tracy and I talked with them earlier this afternoon before we even started our executive session. And I questioned after our conversation tonight, or this afternoon, some of their abilities. You know, I said, she said, well, you need to do this, and it's gonna be the same way all the time. And I said, you can't do that. Not every situation's the same. This agreement says this department says that, different things happen. I said, we got people that are working without something to tell them a definite thing. And so when the question comes up, what do they get? I said, you gotta take it on a case-by-case basis, because there's too many variables out there. There's too many things. You can't, she's trying to do a cookie cutter, and you get this retirement, this is what it is, and that's it. And it's not that simple. And I don't think they like all the extra work involved, because, and they end up having us try to do the legwork, give them the answer, and then they end up billing us for it anyway. That's what it seems like to me. So I don't agree with it, so. And we're at will with them, right? There's no term, you
Yeah,
said?
yeah.
So we just go out and get a bid for it and see what we come up with.
Should you find that answer out being the chairman of the board?
As to what, if we're getting billed by
Exactly.
questions?
You
Yeah.
should know that, and Dave, you should know that being prior to.
Well, I mean, anyone can call Nyhart, but ultimately the bill's gonna come to us and we can approve
Right.
or,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Someone should know that right now.
if we,
Someone should know that.
yeah.
I know that, I
Or if they
don't even
call
know
us-
Nyhart's number, I wouldn't be able to call them myself.
Yeah, well, with all the past problems we had, someone should know that fact.
Typically, our contact is our clerk, and she's just
That's,
back and forth with everything.
Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it? Contact Elizabeth by email and ask
I
her?
can email her.
Okay, we'll do that, we'll get an
But I
answer.
don't think
you're
so.
open doping around, just say, okay, I'm gonna find out.
Yeah.
Chairman should know.
Oh, yeah, agreed. I've never called her, so I don't know. I've never seen it. Is my name in there as far as
Yeah.
anything in the billing, you know?
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
good to know for the simple fact that when we go out for bids, ask that question on the people who bids, or put that out there to see if there's a fee or not,
Yeah.
and they come in with their prices. Any other discussion? Okay. All right, item T, discussion action regarding part-time employment, post-retirement ordinance amended. That one I went to council meeting. Councilman didn't like the format, the original draft that we did. They wanted it in a format that they use all the time, so Al Fiore, the zoning lawyer, understood that. He said, I'll get it back to you the way they want. We sent him everything. He did it up, sent it to us. I looked at it, said, "Yep, okay." He sent it to them. We went to the next meeting, and there was one discussion about that. I forget his name, but came up, the retired police officer, and spoke about the caps and so forth and so forth. Basically, we were just trying to, what we thought was an oversight, where it doesn't mention municipal people being able to come back to work in there. We think it was an oversight when they just went from 1 year to another in the plans, and just trying to correct that and get it amended to put that in so people that could come back to work on their part-time like they do after they retire. And I understand from Mr. Goslin at the meeting that there was an oversight, he said at the time, some of it was intentional. Also, then there was issues about what the caps would be and so forth. I said, well, we thought about while we're doing this, we'll just raise the money up, because over the years, inflation goes up, so give them a little bit more flexibility of so many hours or so much money, and just increase it a little bit. He pointed out that, yeah, if you did that, sometimes they might be able to make as much money working part-time as what they're collecting for a pension, and that would create another issue. And I hadn't thought about that. I said, yeah, that's possible. So, but then the discussion got carried into other things, and so basically it got tabled again, and it's gonna be rewritten up about eliminating, they're talking about eliminating the 1,000 hours or $20,000 limit and making it no limit. So where it goes with that, I don't know. It's just, there is people that come back to work, put it down, under what was the original agreement that was in the language, and there's nothing there that says they can do that right now, so. Like, they asked me, and I told them, I said, keep going to work, don't worry about it, until they change something, do something, you know, just do it. They're just trying to make it so that there's no question about it, because legally, you're not supposed to come back. It says no, so. It's just getting, I don't know how it can get out of hand, but it is, but, so I gotta go to the next meeting, either next week or the third.
September 3rd.
Third. And answer any questions, see what they come up with, you know? It's just trying to keep something that looked like it got cut out of the works, that's all. So that's where that stands. Any questions? Okay. Item U, public comment.
Kevin O'Connell, the chairperson of the West Warwick Police and Fire Disability Association. I'm asking this board tonight to consider doing an investigation, a complete investigation as to why 4 disabled police officers and firefighters are getting the same benefits under an MOU that they did not go to court and signed to get those benefits. So I'm asking the board to investigate tonight why they got those benefits, who gave them those benefits, and how are you going to correct it? Because I talked to Mr. Gosselin, and he says, it's your job to determine who gets what out of the pension, to interpret the pension. So we know you pay benefits out of the MOU, and we know after 18 months that back and forth, we found 4 guys that are getting these benefits, and they never went to Superior Court to get those benefits. Somehow they're getting those benefits, and nobody seems to know why.
They're not part of your original consent agreement?
They're not part of the group that went to Superior Court in front of Judge Rubine
Okay.
and signed the MOU. So prior to that, and part of the MOU, I've been doing some research on it, and these guys are getting the same benefits now, meaning they don't get longevity, holiday pay, but they get longevity as a calculation. Well, if they're not part of the MOU and somebody gave them those benefits, prior to this MOU, because in paragraph 2 of the MOU, it says that we'll get our longevity back payments. So I believe that these gentlemen got these longevity back payments because you already told me that they're part of the MOU. Somebody miraculously put them in there. Nobody knows who. Town council said they didn't. You said you didn't. So somebody had to,
Right,
okay?
makes sense.
Somebody had to do that, right?
Yeah.
Because they are getting the benefits. You talked to Mr. Ernie, you talked to Ernie, you had a meeting, and he says, yep, because you told me, I got some bad news, these guys are getting the benefits. So how do we correct this? Because I'm sure the board wants to correct this problem, right? Because if these guys didn't go to court and they're getting these benefits, why would they be getting them, right? Because prior to that, there was an ordinance that would you get 20% reduction. Don't know if that ever went into effect. There was the first reading. I can't find the second reading. But however, I did find a letter from the pension board in 2011 that says, dear Mr. O'Connell, we're going to inform you that we believe your pension benefits have been miscalculated. And as of this date, we are going to take away your longevity and holiday pay. That's from the pension board in 2011.
Okay.
Each one of those guys that signed that MOU got these letters.
That's those 4 people.
No, any disabled police officer and firefighter
Yeah,
got this memo because back in 2011, our pensions were calculated, longevity and holiday pay to be
Okay.
included,
follow
correct?
you. Yeah.
As it is today, Dave, right? It's in your contract now.
Basic annual.
Basic
salary.
annual salary is holiday and
Right.
longevity.
Okay,
So in 2011, the pension board sent us each a letter and took those away arbitrarily. That resulted in a lawsuit,
okay,
okay? And we went to court forever,
Yeah.
back and forth, couldn't determine anything. And then they had the crisis, and Fred Presley came to us and said, look, we need to make this all go away. So they said, we need to negotiate. So we negotiated this MOU, this one right here, 2012-1000.
okay.
I gave you all copies. I think you have read it. You're new. You may have not got it. Ralph, I don't know if you have it. But part of that, it says that we'll get we'll get that longevity payment back. So did these gentlemen get their longevity payments back?
You got a retro.
Retro
Payment.
payment, okay, because it's part of the MOU,
Okay,
okay? Or should you go back to this 2011 and seeing that they're not part of the MOU, that you take away their holiday and their longevity? If you gave them back their longevity, you should take it back, right? Because if you didn't sign the MOU, this is the only thing that was prior to the MOU.
Right.
Well, we had no longevity and holiday pay. So if they didn't sign this, and they got this, and they did it wrong, somebody did it wrong, and again, nobody will say it, but you have to find that out.
okay.
Town council, they wanted me to figure it out.
Earlier, before you first started, you said something about Mr. Gosselin said that he.
Right, he recognized there was a problem. He asked me, Kevin, what do you think we should do? I said, I can't tell you that. I represent the disabled guys that went to court. But I says, It's up to you to decide what you want to do about these 4 individuals, okay?
Yeah.
I can't tell you. But now that I found out that Mr. Goslin says everything belongs at the pension board, you guys make all the decisions. So now I'm bringing it to your attention, there's a wrong that has been done here. Okay, so.
Did you take that as that we put them back in? Or we told?
No, I want to this day, we can't find out who did it. I suspect who did it. And I think he did it wrongly, okay? But that's going to be in litigation.
Okay.
So I'm not going to speak to that. But somebody did it.
All right.
Okay, somebody went and took those 4 individuals after we signed the MOU and just threw them in a pile and said, yeah, they're going to get it too. There's only 4 of them, they're going to get it too. I suspect it was just done by one person. That's what I think. Okay, because the council said they never had a vote to bring these 4 people in. And you never knew about it, according to Tracy, 18 months ago. You didn't know about these 4 individuals, right? Remember we went back and forth, you know, who do these guys are? Do you know who they are? I don't know who they are. Do you know? And I gave you the names. Do you remember that 18 months ago? If you go look at the things, you'll see that every month I brought it up. Who are these guys, right? Yeah, you understand. Of course you don't. Okay? So my question to you people, now that you know there's a wrong, okay? And it's your job to make sure people are getting the benefits under the MOU and the current contracts. You should start an investigation. Maybe you pay your attorney to do it, to find out how these guys got these benefits. And if you find out that they got them wrongly, and you're going to go to court, you'll go to court, she'll have to go to court and check and see the names that were on it. And then she's going to find out that 4 guys weren't on it. And she's going to find out that they get the same benefits as my guys. So now that's a wrong. Because how could they ever get those benefits? It's impossible. If you didn't vote on it, and the town council didn't vote on it, and they didn't go to court in front of Judge Rubine, how in the world did they ever get those benefits? It's virtually impossible. So if they chose not to go to court, then you have to revert back to the 2011, give them their 66 2/3, okay? But you got to take away their longevity and holiday pay. Because your assumption back in 2011 that you were doing it all wrong for all those years. You were giving the disabled guys the wrong benefits for longevity and holiday pay. Despite me bringing a letter to you people and your attention from your own pension attorney back then, Mr. Pezza, stating that we should be getting longevity and holiday pay. But you ignored that. You chose to ignore that. Okay? So you arbitrarily took away longevity payments with your new attorney. But prior to that attorney, you had another attorney. And he gave a big opinion because the gentleman in the audience right here asked when he retired. He says, hey, I don't want to get in trouble. Can I work if I retire on a disability pension? I said, well, let's go ask. So we asked the pension attorney. And he wrote this nice letter. I don't know if the gentleman wants me to use his name, but I will if he wants me to, but it's okay? Yep. Mr. George Kelly, okay? And Mr. Pezza gave a long dissertation why you could work, because you have to get your 66 2/3. There's no other law that overrides it and all that. And that's why Mr. Kelly could go to work. Mr. Kelly never did go to work. He's been disabled, never had a job since he's been retired. But with your new attorney, after Mr. Pezza left and gave that opinion letter, that he was your attorney, you got a new lawyer, okay? A Mr. Fort. I believe it was Mike Fort at the time. And Mr. Fort gave a different opinion. He said, no, these guys don't deserve longevity holiday pay. Basic annual salary is a total different thing. It's just what your weekly pay was, no holiday pay and longevity. So they arbitrarily sent us all these letters, taking it away. Say it's, what was the words he used? Based on a review of only a portion of the available document, it appears that the calculation of occupational disability pension benefits in the past
has included certain monies, including holiday pay and longevity. What a statement to put in a thing telling me that he did an investigation based on a review of only a portion of the available documents. Isn't that a shame that an attorney would do that, base an opinion on only a portion of documents? Don't you want all the documents before you make a decision?
And I certainly wouldn't want to take something away from somebody without a very thorough review.
Why not?
So,
But you did it.
yeah, well, that's,
The pension board did it.
that would be unacceptable to me.
Of course.
I have a question. I seem to remember, and I'm sure you'll fill in the blanks, or if I got something wrong, correct me, and that's okay. I seem to remember somewhere there was a lawsuit about all of this, and I think it was the town who ended up, it's either through arbitration, wanted to take those benefits away, is that correct?
That's wrong.
Okay, what was that involved in?
We filed a lawsuit when they arbitrarily took these
Okay.
benefits away.
And what happened with that?
We went to court and we paid our lawyer $37,000, okay? And the town paid their lawyer over $43,000, I believe it was back then, to get nowhere. Because we did briefs. You did a brief, I did a brief. You did a brief, I did a brief. So in that interim of all this briefing, the town comes to us and said, oh my God, we're going bankrupt. We got to call the state in. They get the state in. They get everybody in. They says, Kev, you got to negotiate with us because we're in financial crisis. We need you guys to give up something. And I told him, I says, how can I give something up and negotiate with you when you've already taken longevity and holiday pay? How can I negotiate? That would be unfair to me, my guys. We're negotiating in a weakness. We got a lawsuit going on in court. We already got reduced longevity and holiday pay, and you want me to sit down with Rosemary Booth Galogli and Bill Dolan and the town council and give up more. How much more can I give up?
Okay.
Okay? How much more can I give up? So Fred Presley comes and he says, Kev, to get this done, we really need you to negotiate. I said, Fred, how can I do it? He says, well, how about if we do this? He said, I'm looking for 5% from everybody, every retiree, 5% across the board. So I says, is that all you want? He said, well, we want other things too, but we want 5% concession from the regular retirees and the disabled guys. I said, okay. He says, what we'll do, we'll give you back your longevity. Well, first he said 5%, so we did some calculations, Ronnie Nunes and myself. Like you said, Dave, you don't need an actuary to do it. So we checked it out. 5% would have equaled the holiday pay. So I said, hey, Fred, why don't we do this? Instead of giving up 5%, why don't we just give up the holiday pay, if that's what you need? I says, is that fair? Fred Presley goes, yeah. He says, that's fair. He says, equals out to about the same thing. He says, everybody's going to take the same thing. I said, I don't care what everybody else takes. I says, but 5% in holiday pay is about the same thing. So we did that. So we started negotiation, which led to this MOU. And like I said in the second paragraph, it says that we get our retroactive holiday pay, longevity pay, and we won't get the holiday pay anymore. That would be our 5%.
Back to 2011?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, when they started taking it away. So we all got that back. We signed the MOU, gave up a few other things, and that's where we are. But these four guys chose not. We reached out to these four guys, believe it or not. We just didn't leave them in the wind. We didn't. We sent them registered letters. We made phone calls. I said, hey, guys, here's the deal. They got an ordinance out there that's going to take 2020 away from you. It's not the best deal in the world. I'm not sugarcoating this for my guys. You know, they got to give 5%. They're getting their longevity back, giving up a few other things. But now, Kev, we're going to chance it on our own. I said, okay. I says, hey, I'm not going to force you. So Fred Presley had told me it was 100% or nobody. So I went back to Fred. I said, I can only get about 98%. That's all I can do. I said, I'm sorry. He says, you know, son, I'll be satisfied with that, 98%. So we all went to court, each guy, and we signed it.
He stayed any further than that, other than he was okay with that?
Who?
Mr. Presley?
Yeah, he said at the time that he was okay with that, and everybody else was going to take a 5%. Well, you know how that history went.
Yeah.
You took nothing. You didn't take a 5% decrease. We're the only group that took a 5% decrease. Fred Presley lied to us,
Okay.
okay? Sorry, Fred, if you're looking, okay? He lied to us, okay?
All right.
And I went and called him out on it. I said, Fred, I says, you lied to me. He says, Kev, worry about your guys. You did what was best for your guys. I says, but you told me that everybody, you were in financial straits, that everybody needed to give something. And I says, my God, I said, Fred, let me tell you something. I will never negotiate with you again. I says, you understand that? I says, before I ever step, if you come to me again and saying that you have a financial problem, I will never negotiate with you again until everybody takes the cut my guys took. And I says, and I walked out of there. And then Mr. Presley just left after that. He went and got a new job in West Virginia. But it's a shame what's happened to these guys. Go ahead, you have a question? You never ask a question.
I
Go
was
ahead.
just gonna ask, the 4 guys, did they lose, I mean, did they get the same deal you got as
Yeah,
far as
they-
the holiday?
Let's see, Al
and
said
the-
he had a meeting with Ernie.
And the 5, and, you know, losing the 5% and all that?
They said they're getting the same thing as what my guys are getting. That's what I was told, because I don't represent them, or I have no knowledge. Your chairman told me, he met with the new town manager, and they're getting the exact same benefits as my guys are getting. And I said, how can they be getting it? It's impossible, because they didn't go to court. So that's my thing, now I'm back to the pension board.
Yeah, so no, I wanna make sure I got this straight. In 2014, you got a retroactive longevity pay.
Correct.
Because they had taken it away from you.
In 2011.
Right? And you're wondering whether or not those 4 guys that did not sign the MOU also got that longevity pay.
Did they get the
retroactive.
longevity pay, huh?
All right. And,
I don't know how they would get it, because,
who knows? I mean,
but that's your job.
we don't know how these things are happening to begin with. And in 2014, you took, it wasn't exactly a 5% reduction. What you agreed to was no holiday pay, but longevity pay.
And longevity pay, correct.
Okay.
Part of our calculation.
All right, now, those guys that did not sign the MOU, what do you think they should have gotten instead?
Okay.
What you,
If the town enacted that ordinance that they were threatening us with, I do have it, but I didn't bring it with me tonight. I have the first reading of it, and it was a 2020 ordinance.
Gonna say
20%
Big hit, yeah.
medical and 20% of your benefits,
okay, so,
your pay, whatever your monthly pay, they were going to cut 20% of it,
Across the board and every benefit.
every benefit, right?
okay.
Okay.
So that's the first question we have to answer then, is did the town actually enact that
Correct.
ordinance? In 2011, right? Was that a 2011 ordinance or a 2014 ordinance?
I believe it was 2014.
2014.
No, it was 2011, because that's when they got into the financial crisis.
Okay, did town enact the 2020
May have
ordinance?
spilled into
I think
2012.
all
Correct.
those ordinances.
Yeah,
Well, we should have it in our.
But I think all those ordinances got pulled back once the agreements were in place.
yeah, I don't know that, but
We
then,
need to find that out.
and then that's my next question. Now, if there was no ordinance, and it was just a bluff, or they said, hey, we got what we wanted, and we'll pull back those ordinances, now what happens to these guys?
Yeah.
They
so-
didn't get they got the benefit under the MOU, but should they have been just left at 66 2/3 minus the longevity and holiday pay because of this letter? I'm sure they got this letter from the
Right.
pension board,
So
because
then-
every disabled police officer and firefighter got it.
The next question I would have is that valid? I mean, you know, you're saying it was based on some sketchy information,
What-
maybe
This wasn't based on any sketchy, they,
the Mike Forte, the Forte letter?
right, you know what they did? This is how cruel this pension board was. We got the letter, and our following check was cut. Not even, the pension board didn't have the guts to tell us. We got the letter saying that it probably would be cut, and boy, it was cut. And it was cut. So thank you very much, West Warwick Pension Board. You didn't even have the courtesy to let us come up here and challenge it. Because after it was done, I brought the letter up from Mr. Pezza. I says, look, this is your own pension board telling you that I'm supposed to get longevity and holiday pay. Okay? We don't know if we trust that. Oh, somebody told me, oh, he wasn't a great lawyer anyways. That's what he told me, the pension board chairman. He wasn't a great lawyer anyways. What a statement.
At the beginning, you stated that you have a pretty good idea who made the decision to give these individuals.
Absolutely.
What's that?
Absolutely.
My question is, are you saying that this board did that?
I'm saying, no, I'm not saying, I think you would have had to have a vote to do it,
That would make sense. That's why I'm asking.
correct?
Right.
You don't do anything on your own. David can't say, hey, I like these 4 guys. You know, I want to throw them in with these guys. You can't do that. You would have to have a vote.
I can't speak for the boards in the past. I just know since I've been on here, we don't do anything unless we vote. She constantly reminds us that all the time. If I ask a question, say, can we do this? No, that needs to be voted. That's something that has to, you know, because you learn what you can and can't do. I can tell Tracy, can you send an email to her and tell her that we're not paying the bill, and that's it. That doesn't really need a vote. It's just something we decide to do. It's not changing a contract or something, you know? So I just, my concern is, and I'm not quite sure what exactly, I understand everything you're saying, but I'm not sure if you're implementing this board, or if you're, because I can't speak for the people before us.
No.
Or before me.
Of course you're not. And that's the problem with the pension board and the town council. They just keep on changing all the time. Go ahead.
Could
I
you,
mean, I think whoever did it, that's not even the point here. The point is how can we force them, or can we force them to do repayment?
Of course you can. You're the pension board.
But I'm just saying, I
You
mean,
can send
whoever
them-
did it, that's
You can
not-
send them a letter just like we got. We were checking on your disability pensions, and we think they were miscalculated because you didn't sign an MOU on such and such a date, okay? And we are bringing you back to, we have no ordinance in place to reduce your benefits, but we're gonna bring you back to your original 66 2/3, okay? And we're going to go back to the original letter you've got from the West Warwick Pension Board stating that we miscalculated your pensions. You don't deserve longevity and holiday pay.
so Mr. Goslin's telling you that the council did not, any way, shape, or form, through its
We're part of it.
manager, solicitor, or anything?
Oh, I don't know about the manager. That's for you to find out.
Okay.
But that's really not the case. The case is if.
Case is to
inadvertently
right or
put-
wrong.
Yeah, how to make it right.
Correct. That's your job. That's your job. So
Good.
if you need a copy of this letter, because I don't know if you have them, but they should be in our file because it was sent to everybody. Right? I have most of my guys.
Do we have copies?
Well,
Oh, it should be in everybody's file
Tracy
because
should be in a file somewhere. If
right,
not.
it only goes back to
we-
2011.
We will contact you and get a copy, not a problem, but,
Kevin, you're sure it's 4, no more than 4, no less than 4? To the best of your knowledge?
To best of my knowledge, Dave, it's 4.
Okay.
Mhm.
You can certainly take it under advisement. I mean, you can put it
Excuse me?
on-
I know the names now.
Right, you know the name, exactly, you know their names now. Right. So,
If we have the names, I
You know,
mean,
I'll probably just make a copy just so I have it. Yeah, I'll still make a copy.
something to take under advisement for sure. We have the names, we can look into it
Is
fairly
it-
easily.
Would you,
Who signed that?
Please don't sweep this under the rug. Now you understand our frustration over the years, it's going on and on and on. Please investigate, that's what he's asking.
what it is it comes down to one simple thing.
I wasn't on then.
I don't recognize this.
Everybody should be treated the same.
Maybe,
Those 4
it wasn't
individuals chose
Denise
to
either.
go something different.
Yeah, so why?
So they took their chance, I understand that, I remember something along the line about not everybody agreeing to be that. Whether it was with the disability union, or whether it was with the association, or it was with the PERC, we covered the other.
Lickley's may have been on the board.
What's that?
I don't think it was chairman.
You know,
I've got a
What it
list
is
of all
is-
the people that are on the board. I should have
However
brought
they
it.
got
You know
those
something, I might
things.
have it.
If they weren't supposed to, then you fall back into what the plan says, and that's it, because there is no other agreement. So the question that he's brought up is
Would you
who,
agree that these four individuals made a choice? They chose not to sign the agreement, they chose not to negotiate with the town, and they wanted to take their chances. Well, unfortunately, that's gonna cost them, and you need to right a wrong. This is not right, what's going on here. That's what he's bringing up.
I understand. And I'm just saying is everybody's treated the same, whether, it doesn't matter what it is. And they're not part of that original agreement,
They were not.
so
Yeah,
just
so
gotta
then,
dig into it, that's all.
so then perhaps, then if they have a problem with, if we do our thing to correct it, if they have a problem with the town, then they can sue the town.
That's their choice.
That's their problem.
That's their choice.
Well-
Say to the attorney to take this to court,
Their problem's gonna be,
it costs a lot of money.
their problem's gonna be with whoever decided to give them those benefits.
Yeah, but you
Period.
gotta think
They can
about-
just they can make decisions on what they would like to do once they receive your letter.
You gotta think about this, something comes up about the MOU, and they think they're entitled to it, they are not. Like where Dee is
Well,
right now.
you've got all those documents, and the judge has all of that, yes.
No, I'm saying where Dee is right now,
Yeah,
the benefit not being cut, they're gonna be looking for that, and they're not entitled to it.
So how come this was addressed now, if they've been collecting?
No, it hasn't been addressed.
No, 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 how
Addressed
come it's
18 months ago.
brought up
I've always
now?
been the chairman of the West Warwick Police Fire Disability.
Right.
We've had other issues going on with our organization. I'm a two-man show, okay? So, after this had been going on for like a year, I said, I wonder what happened to those four guys, okay, that didn't join the organization. We have our meetings and I always wondered what happened. So I went and asked the pension board. I said, I have a question. What benefits did these guys get? You know how long it took me to get an answer from this pension board? And I'm not excursion blame on anybody. Do you have any idea? You think more than a year?
Yeah, I would say more than a year.
How about 18 months? Me coming here every month, exhausted, in front of the pension board, saying, we need to find out, we need to find out, we need to find out. And nobody would tell me. I had an assumption what was happening. Okay? I knew they were getting the same benefits as my guys. Because you know something? If they got to 2020, they would have been calling me up saying, I want to be part of this MOU, get me on this MOU right now. So I never got a phone call. Never got a phone call. So Al finally found out, yeah, they're getting the same benefits. I don't know why it was so hard to tell me. I'm not an unreasonable guy until I get my handle. But I was looking for the truth. Why? And this is Joe Pez's, I don't know if you wanted that. I don't think you need it, but
Yeah, I don't think so. If I need it, I'll call you up.
that's what I'm saying. I know you people want to do right. I know you seem to be wanting to do the right thing. This is your chance. Dig into it, because we're digging into it. And I just don't want to keep you blindsided. I really don't. We are doing an investigation. You will be questioned on this. So I just don't want you to be blindsided.
Okay.
So
Appreciate
it sounds like we've got four issues here. The first one is that 2011-14 letter. Is that really, is it valid? Is it really the truth? That you should not, that longevity and holiday pay should not be included in a pension calculation?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, they're saying, this Forte guy is saying that it should not have been, when they calculated their pension, the disability pension, they should not have included longevity and holiday pay in
The
that.
problem is there, the previous legal said one thing, new legal said another. That's gonna happen all the time. You
But
can't
you
get
don't
around that.
understand.
Well,
We had been collecting this.
I mean, there shouldn't be any gray here in the law. It should
Exactly,
be-
there is no gray. They made it a gray area. Because here's the deal. Here's the deal. We were collecting longevity and holiday pay.
Right.
As soon as they put it into the pension, First they started with holiday pay, then they added longevity, and then they started giving it to the disability guys. We argued about it in court, the judge agreed to us that longevity and holiday pay should be calculated as part of base salary.
That went to court.
Okay? That went to court.
Do you have those documents?
I do.
I'd like those too.
So, for all the years I've been on disability, okay, I used to get 66 2/3 with longevity and holiday. All the time, nobody questioned it. Went on, different pension boards. New attorney starts looking into it. We found a little loophole here, guys. We may have found a little loophole to take some money away from the disability guys. Okay? Let's try this, okay? So we're gonna say, we did a partial review. I like that word.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I like that. You don't either?
No.
Why not?
Because it means that you didn't get, you made a decision based on a limited set of data.
Thank you.
Yeah, but could it also mean that a partial review, meaning they only addressed one issue in the document? Partial review,
No.
partial review, they're only identifying partial, speaking about partial part of it,
It means that you
not
looked at
everything.
something like this.
Maybe that's the
instead of
word.
like this.
Right.
That's what it means to
No,
me.
I don't think anybody would say, I'm making this
Well,
based
how could you
on
make that
limited
comment
data.
then?
But
That
partial,
the guy
because
that
they've
drew
only,
up this
because they've
wasn't a
only
very
looked
good
at,
lawyer.
they only looked at, I mean, they were only dealing with a partial part of the document, not, they're not addressing every item in the document, a partial
I mean,
part
we've
of
seen
it.
situations
What document?
within our own
Well,
pension
with
plans.
your partial review,
Partial review?
all right, partial,
How pensions are
holiday,
calculated?
no, holiday and longevity, partial, we're only just gonna discuss partial. We're not
Yeah.
discussing every element, we're not discussing number of hours, base pay, we're not discussing that, we're gonna discuss
Itemized.
partial items of holiday and longevity. No?
We don't do partial items in holiday and longevity.
I think,
It's based on your years of
I
service.
think we can definitely discuss this more and more,
Right.
but unfortunately, we can't vote on anything tonight
Right.
because it's
No,
not on
I'm
the
asking.
agenda.
Need to look
But I think
into
it's
that.
You're
definitely,
asking us to take a look into it and see what we
it's
find.
definitely something we can take under advisement
Yeah.
and definitely put on the next agenda to discuss, you know?
I just
Especially
don't
if we
want-
have the names and all the information, but the key things that we need are whether that ordinance was ratified,
Correct.
whether I'd like to see the opinion you have prior to the holiday and longevity is
Okay.
included in the calculation too.
Yeah,
Because
in
that's
simple-
the letter you got from the
simple
pension
terms.
board, how that was voted on is also important. Whether that still stands, whether that was rescinded, I don't know either. But if you take the MOU away, basically what I'm saying is we need to see, if you take the MOU away, what's left?
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And in
Right.
simple terms, basically is, from the plan's point of view, and that's how I look at it, is something being done that's hurting the plan financially? Is more money going out that's not supposed to? Okay, there's been errors, Tracy and I have found stuff, it's like, okay, well, this has been well, okay, you opened up a can of worms. We can't do anything about that, it's just too far, but we can address the issue from this point on. So at least we can fix, like you're saying, fix an error, fix a problem, and get it straightened out. That's all, because the plan itself
You should
can't
want
afford to take a little hit here and a little hit there, and a little, because it's not making enough money as it is.
You should want to do, make sure everything in your pension plan, that somebody's getting a benefit that they're entitled to. Okay? Because when they took this away, we were entitled to it, and they just arbitrarily took it away. So you guys can really do anything you want, send these guys a letter, take it away, say going back to the original pension. I mean, I'm sure your attorney will tell you not to
Yeah,
do that.
we'll get sued,
Okay, but you're gonna get sued,
right?
but you're gonna get sued anyway.
But I think we definitely need to gather the information.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Thank you.
Really happy to-
Any other public comment? Hearing none.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.